So quite often in Pilates we do some work in sitting, and this one is called C-Curve spine. So in sitting, it really depends on how the shape of your spine and the mobility of your hips and spine as to how much support you need underneath you. For some of you, you might prefer to be on a chair, and that's absolutely fine. Some of you might be bendy enough to find a neutral spine to begin with. When you're just on the mat, I can get there, but I'm going to show you it on a block, just because it is a lot easier on a block. So I'm going to sit on my Pilates block, and my feet are out in front of me. We might have feet out in front, we might be in long frog position where our feet are together and knees and turn out, but for this one, let's just go feet on the floor. Okay. So in sitting, we want to check in with where we are on our sitting bones. So if you're not sure where they are, have a little feel of them. They're quite low down. The hamstrings come and attach right into them. And they're quite big too. So, if you're just feeling like this, oh, that's my bones. You want to feel like the whole bone. They are quite big. They would sit in the palm of your hand. So get acquainted with your sitting bones. And then we just get comfy on my block here. We're going to roll back and forth on them. So, if those bones had arrows on them, they'd be pointing down into the block or your chair if your pelvis is kind of neutral. A bit like when we're on the middle of the sacrum. This is our reference point for our neutral spine, neutral pelvis when we're sitting. Our arrows on our bones. Imaginary arrows on our bones. So, if we start up as tall as we can, we're going to tip the pelvis back the way and come into C-curve spine. So in this position here, I've gone onto the back of my sitting bones, and those arrows are now kind of pointing that way. My spine has gone into a C shape. It's not a huge movement. And then I'm going to come back out of it again to find my neutral. And I'm going to roll back onto those bones. Remember, wherever my pelvis goes, my lumbar spine has to follow. Okay? So I'm gently holding on to my shins, they're not my thighs, my shins, starting from an upright position, tipping the pelvis back, as if a little string is pulling your lumbar spine towards the mat. And the rest of the spine can gently curve into a C shape. The shoulders are soft, the neck is soft. Sometimes it can get all grippy and tense up here as we're trying too hard. So just see if you can relax your shoulders and just let the head gently drop forward. Rolling back up into our upright position again. Let's have a little breath and relax. And we'll go again. Tip the pelvis back the way. Feel the movement join in to the whole of the spine. Maybe at the end of the movement you can tip the pelvis a bit further, and actually I'm gently pressing into my feet to allow my pelvis to tip back. What does that remind you of? A north tilt. We are north tilting in sitting. And then come back up to your upright position again. Maybe breathing in, breathing out. How does it feel to breathe out as you go into C-curve spine? I like that one. Can you breathe just quite normally as you flex into C-curve, extend into neutral, keeping quite relaxed, noticing your bones, your sitting bones, visualizing where those arrows are going, pointing forward, rolling to then point down to the block. If the arrows are pointing down into our block, we're pretty much in neutral, but body might be a bit further back the way. It might be forward. So we want to feel too that our body is in the center and right on top of those sitting bones. So let's do two more. C-curve spine. Tip the pelvis back. The abdomen automatically draws in. Lumbar spine is being pulled towards the floor with a string. Rolling back up. One more, nice and soft. C-curve spine. breathing normally, and then come back up to finish.